Hi, it's Maureen, Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from the United States. I live in the state of New Jersey, and this is February Stampin' Around the World video hop. With this video hop, you'll get to see creations of demonstrators from around the world. This month's theme is masculine cards. I'll be using the One More Year stamp set, which looks like this. Along with some other stamp sets that I'm going to show you as we jump into it. But before we do, I want to make sure that you know to check out the description below for links to videos from other demonstrators from around the world to see their take on masculine cards. So you'll get to see a lot of other fun stuff. So remember to check the link below. For my card with a masculine theme, I am going to be creating this card here, which, like I said, does use the One More Year stamp set. It also uses the Celebration stamp set Day to Celebrate. If you spend $60, you could choose this for free. I am also using the Happy Birthday stamp here from the With You in Mind stamp set. So a few stamp sets there. One other item that I'll be using is the Spotlight on Nature dies. And I already cut everything, so it'll be ready to go very easily and quickly. All right, so I will be using the Timeless Plaid Designer Series paper. It is a 6x6 paper in size. You can see it here. These, of course, are double-sided. And I don't know if they're in stock right now, but you can keep a lookout for them. Also, if you don't have this, you can use any designer series paper for what I'm going to create. So you can check your stash and see what works. These are the two sides. I did flip them, so this is the front and back of that one. These are a front and back. This is also a front and back. Another front and back. You can see it's the same. Let's see, this is a front and back. Oh, no, it's not. It's these. These are the front and back. This is a front and back. Then we have this one. And I've been using it. So this one, I don't have another one for it, but the other side looks like that. And then this one was one of my favorites. Ran out of it. These are the pieces that I have left. I think I have two of these pieces, same size, two of these, same size. But they are, oh, you know what? They're not front and back. So actually, this front and back is what I have of that. This front and back is what I have of that. And it does come 6x6. You can see all my little pieces that I have left. So I'm just going to stick these right in here. I'm going to gather these together and stick them in here. This is a great way to sort your 6x6 papers. And I believe I bought this pouch from Stampin' Storage. So I can put a link for Stampin' Storage as well in the description so that you can get them. All right, really cute. Great way to store them. So for the card that we are making, which is this, and for this design, the measurements, I don't know the name of this card. I'm calling it a double flap because it's a double flap or trifold. But I did get the measurements from Rhonda Wade, and she made a card like this with a different stamp set, different paper, but the design I did get from her with the measurements. So I'm going to bring in all of my pieces here and tell you what I did. So the first thing I did is I got some wild wheat cardstock, and I did cut it at 11 inches by 5.5. And then I measured from the right corner. So I had this piece here. I measured from the right corner in 1.25 inches, and I put a tick mark there. And then I cut it on my cutting board from the tick mark down to the corner. So that's what this piece is. So that's how that comes off, and then you'll see. The other thing I did is I noticed that when I folded it over, it was very tight here. So I just cut a slither off here. And I think it's, it's easier to measure it and then just cut a little slither off. And the slither, let's see, do I have it anymore? Yes, I do. This is the slither, so just this much. That's all you really need to cut off this end, and then when you fold it, there's more space in there. Okay, so let's get started with that part. What I'm going to do is fold it now, but I am going to fold and burnish my edges or crease my score lines, however you want to say it. And then I'm going to fold, so you can see now there's more space in there with this piece missing. Going to fold this over. If you notice, I am wearing green. We call it Kelly green. Like I said, I am from the United States where we have American football, and my team, the Eagles, just won the Super Bowl. Yay. And today's the parade. So I am filming this on the day of the parade. This one looks a little bit uneven. You do want to get your edges together, and I don't think I did that when I creased my edges. All right, and that'll be better. Awesome. So yes, so I am in green. So I grew up in Philadelphia, but I live in New Jersey, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. I grew up there. Eagles have always been my team. And so today is the parade, and I'm so excited. Been so busy that I haven't gotten to my stamping because I've been excited about the Eagles. So that's why I'm in my Kelly green today. All right, so now that we have this done, I did cut some designer series paper, the timeless plaid that I talked about. So I did cut, let's move that out the way. This piece here is 4 by 5 1/4, and we are going to adhere it right here. So I am going to get some adhesive. I always turn this, I don't know, I'm a right-handed person, so it's just easier if I turn it to get the other edge. Okay. And I'm going to adhere that here. Just try to center it. There we go. And then I cut another piece at 2 1/4 by 5 1/4. So when I cut it at 2 1/4 by 5 1/4, it looked like this. And I knew I wanted to put it on here. So the thing that I did is I turned it to the opposite side. So the side that I don't want to use, that's where I measured. So from here, I started at the far right corner and measured in 1 1/4 inches, put a tick mark there, put it on my cutter so that the tick mark and the corner lined up. Then I could cut it and then take that piece away. And if you do it on the opposite side, then when you turn it over, it's the perfect match to fit here. My first one that I made, I didn't realize I needed to turn it over, and I cut it on the wrong side. And so the first card I made, I had to flip my design. So I really wanted this paper here and this paper here. But now that I know, I am creating my second one the way that I wanted the first one to be. So now I am going to adhere this one here. And then we'll see which one I like the best. So same paper, but just flipping the design around a little bit. All right. I'm going to adhere it right here. Make sure I can get that centered. Looks like that. The next thing that I did is I used the Spotlight on Nature stamp set, which I moved somewhere. Oh, right here. The Spotlight on Nature stamp set. And I used this one and this one. You can still see that there's paper in there because I used, or cardstock. I cut out the, what is this, Cajun Craze paper using this circle. So it's that second largest from this collection here. I cut that out in Cajun Craze, and then I went in a little bit, and with the basic beige, I cut this, okay? Or with this, I cut the basic beige. So we're gonna do that, all right? And I just cut that ahead of time just to save some time. So that's what I have there. You can see that some of the paper did not get poked out. For this particular card, I would want to poke it out. Sometimes when I'm creating, I don't mind if the pieces stay in there, but I think this card will look better with the pieces out. So I'm going to take them out. Okay, and it looks like that. And I'm going to move this away. So get ready for the ring light. Da-da-da-da, there it is. That's the reason why my paper is sitting there. Okay. All right, so let's get moving with this. So now I have my basic beige circle, and I am going to bring in my One More Year stamp set. I love this stamp set. I love the pug and the cake. I think they're super cute. I haven't used this yet, so I have to create some more and use that one. But I am going to start off with the pug, and I am going to stamp him there. And I am going to stamp him using my Memento ink. And I'm using Memento ink because I am going to be using my blends. And when you use your blends, you want to use an ink that's not water-based. So, all right, so I'm tapping. You can ink it that way, or you can put this down, turn it around and ink it. But I always like to make sure it looks nice and shiny on the edges. And then I am going to stamp him here. And the cool thing about stamping on a circle is that if you think it's a little crooked, just turn your circle and you're good to go. All right. Next, we are going to color him. So I had to do a little research on pugs because I have to tell you, I don't know a lot about pugs and how they look. So I did have to look. So you can see in my sample, I just started randomly coloring him. Then I looked at what a pug actually looks like. I mean, I know I can see a pug, but I couldn't think of his coloring. And I realized he really just has coloring around his mouth area and a little around his eyes and his ears. So I am using creative liberties with this card. This card will have some creative liberties as well. I am going to use a darker color because the pugs that I saw were all pretty dark. So they kind of had a little bit around the eye like that. And then pretty much all around that nose part there, or mouth, whatever. Like that, and then their ears as well. So not really down here, but I want to do a little bit on the tail. I just think, you know, some shading is kind of cute right there and there, even though they didn't have that. But creative liberty, there we go, at its best. So I did use, this is the light pebbled path that I used to color him in, and he looks so cute. He really does. All right, next I am going to pull out some other colors. I am going to use, this is Cajun Craze. So for Cajun Craze, I am going to color his hat. And I like to use the thinner line here, the bullet tip, when I'm coloring. And when you pull out, when you're opening a blend, you don't take this part and squeeze it down. Because if you squeeze this down, you're going to pull everything out. I learned this the hard way. So I started looking and talking to people about the best way to take the cap off. Really is to get the sides and just kind of pull there. Don't squeeze, just pull. Okay, so I am going to color in his hat. There's a little bit there. And I chose Cajun Craze because the circle's Cajun Craze, and there's Cajun Craze in here as well. And then I did color this part of the hat too for the birthday. So trying to make it masculine. This could be for anyone really, but it could be a masculine card as well. Let's see. I think that is it. Oh, his tongue. Wasn't sure on the right pink for a tongue, so I went with the light Calypso Coral. But if you know, what color do you use for tongues? Can somebody put that in as a comment and let me know what's a good color for a tongue for a dog in Stampin' Up colors? So help me out with that so that my future pugs will have the right coloring. Okay, now we are going to get a lot of things ready. So I also want to use this. It's crumb cake. And I am going to be using the Day to Celebrate stamp set. And I'm going to stamp It's a Good Day to Celebrate. And for that, I will be stamping that in Cajun Craze. As soon as I locate where I put it. It is somewhere around here. Here it is. I'm going to use Cajun Craze ink. Ink that up. I love my glass mat. With a glass mat, you don't have to use your foam, your Stampin' Pierce mat. The Stampin' Pierce mat is great if you're using photopolymer stamps because it helps to give full coverage so that you can get a great stamped image. But if you don't have a Stampin' Pierce mat, you can use a glass mat. And so now I don't have to pull that mat out. I can just use this, and it's nice and firm so that I do get full coverage. I am going to stamp it about here, close to my diagonal. All right, like that. That's good enough. And I'm going to be adhering that. You'll see I'll be cutting it. But if you need to know measurements for this, it's 3/4 of an inch. And then I just take a strip that's 3/4 of an inch. I stamp and I cut. So the measurements are a little bit off with that one, or not exact. So, All right, that is there. What else do I need? I'm going to stamp the inside of the card. For the inside of the card, I am using this With You in Mind stamp set. I'm going to use the Happy Birthday. I already have that ready and loaded, and I am going to stamp that in Wild Wheat. I'm using lots of colors here. Well, actually just 3, but a variety. Keep it interesting. All right, Happy Birthday, inking it up. I always turn my paper, line it up, stamping at the top. You can stamp in the middle, whatever you prefer. Look at that. Oh, it's beautiful. I'm just going to put this to the side. If you know me, you know I love to clean as I go, but I am going to wait. Yes, I am. So I can move along. I do close my ink pad still. All right. At the bottom, I have a strip of this same paper here. And oops, this strip is also 3/4 of an inch. And it's 3/4 of an inch by 4 inches. And I am going to adhere it to the bottom. And I think I'm actually going to adhere it on this side. Yeah. So I will put adhesive here. And you can use whatever adhesive you prefer. I'm using Stampin' Seal. You could also use your liquid Tombow glue. That works as well. I am going to adhere to this to the very bottom. Like line it up there with the bottom and go straight across. All right. And I think I cut mine a little bit more than 4 because I wanted to make sure that it wasn't too short. So you just turn it over and cut off your extra. Just like that. Okay. So it is ready to go inside the card. I'm going to flip it over, put some adhesive on it. Oh, and I just thought of something to do with my doggy. Let me do that in a moment. Okay, I'm going to open up the card, my double fold here, and stick it right in the middle of my card, just like this. And there we go with the inside. All right, so I want to close this now, and I'm going to give him a platform or kind of rest him on something. So I am going to be using the light gray granite and just very lightly color around there just so he's not floating in air. Just gives him a floor. All right. So you can do that. The other thing you could use for a floor, some people take this image right here from the stamp set and stamp that under their pug or their whatever they're creating with. So that's another option, but I'm choosing that. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is grab my Cajun Craze, and my Cajun Craze is going to go sort of centered here. Make sure I'm covering that. I think it's going to be about centered. Yeah, that's good. So I need to look and see the back of my flap because I want to put some adhesive here where the flap is going to come down. So you kind of use your fingers to judge. So my adhesive is going to go here. You will see why in a minute. A little bit here. And of course I'm getting to the end. Oh no. Okay. And then I'm going to fold this over just like that. And now that it's folded over, I'm going to take my pug, turn him over, put adhesive all on the back of him. And I think I ran out and I'm not going to get up and switch it. So I will use my liquid glue now. And I'm going to just put adhesive here. Okay, and he will go right here. Make sure his feet are straight. So he's tilted. So you have to really pay attention to how he is tilted. Okay. And then that goes on there. And as you know, with that liquid glue, it gives you a little bit of leeway time or some forgiving time so that you can slide things around. So with that, you have to hold it still so that you don't accidentally slide it. Okay. There he is. How cute. Very cute. All right. We also have this piece here. So we're going to put our greeting on the outside. So I'm going to cut that about right there. I'm just going to take some scissors and snip it there as straight as I can get it. If it's not super straight, I'm not going to be super upset about it. You can look at it and see if you want to cut it shorter, which I think I do. Okay, and these can go in the trash. And I'm going to put it down here. I thought about here, or do I want it covering him a little bit? Or down. So it's a lot of thinking when you're trying to do this. I think I want to cover him a little bit. I had one down here. Yeah, I'm going to cover him a little bit. I'm going to put some more of my liquid glue on here. My husband just popped in. I wonder if he is wondering if we should go get lunch. So we shall see. I don't know. That may happen. All right. I'm going to flip this over. So my video cut out, I'm not really sure where, but I did add this ribbon here, and this ribbon comes in a 3-pack. I'm not sure if it's available, but if it's not, you can use twine, just something that makes it masculine. I did fray the edges by just scrolling it counterclockwise. When you scroll it counterclockwise, you can see that they start to unravel there. So that's how you do that. Tied it around twice. It's on here. I knotted it. I added some of the opal rounds. I used the smaller ones here. I added 2 at the top and 1 here. I think that's everything that I did. So this card, you can see how it looks like my first card, but the paper is in a different way. And then I went ahead and made another one using more of the Timeless Plaid, but this time I put ribbon on there and I changed the color. I put the cake there. This cake is in the One More Year stamp set. The cake, the pug, and like I said, I didn't use the cheese yet. So that is in there, and again, I grounded that. The inside looks just like the inside of these. So, with the happy birthday, and I guess I'll open it because when I eventually give it to someone, I will need it open to sign. So it opens the same way, and I use the reverse, so this paper here, the reverse of this one, and I stamped happy birthday. This is Mellow Moss, this is Lost Lagoon. So there you go. You can see how you can use the Timeless Plaid, and then also the One More Year stamp set to create these designs. And again, I'm calling it a double fold, and I got the measurements from Rhonda Wade. So that is all for today. Remember to check the description below for videos that you can look at where other demonstrators from around the world will be showing you their creations. Please subscribe to my channel, hit the thumbs up to let me know that you like it. And then also you can select the bell icon to get notifications for more videos. Like, share, and I'll see you next month with a new theme. Thanks for watching. From me to you. Happy stamping. Bye-bye.